What is up, party people? We are back. We're back. Let me know when we're all good to go, which hopefully will be sooner rather than later. Okay, good stuff. I think we are live, baby. At least I think we are live. Yeah, I think we're live. We're live. We're good. Give me a second. Got to share this. Got to share this stuff. So, I do want to go ahead and get started. For those of you who come here so early, which I, by the way, greatly appreciate, I want to say thank you all so much for tuning in, and for those of you who have been here really so consistently over the last few days. Like I said, I will be here a lot more now. I've moved around some things in my life, if you will, and so I've definitely made an effort to essentially just start bringing you the news at the quality that I believe you all deserve, and at the quality that you all started following me for. And I thank you all for just being here so often and so regularly to make it worth my while. And so, with that being said, thank you all for tuning in to Mikasa Sukasa. Excuse me. I am your host, Niko House, and I urge you all to join our one follow, $1 campaign, where we show the mainstream media that we no longer need them. That if they will not, excuse me, if they will not invest. By the way, if you all don't know, I'm getting over pneumonia, so that's probably why you've been hearing me kind of cough and have to clear my throat a lot. I had pneumonia last week, and I'm still getting over it. So, but yeah. Join the one follow $1 campaign. We show the mainstream media that if they will not invest in the truth, then we will invest in those who will. You can do so by donating and clicking on the Patreon link below. It will be listed in the description. Just really all you need is $1. That's not even a double cheeseburger now. So greatly appreciate all the donations that have already happened. Also, make sure that you click subscribe if you're watching right now. And if this is your first time watching, I promise you won't regret it. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. And by the way, we are also on the road to another very important milestone, to 500,000 views, which is crazy because I never thought that I would even get close to that on YouTube. On Facebook, I'm actually well over 1 million, but on YouTube, not even close. Obviously, we're just about halfway there, but we've been able to reach that really because of you all. And hey, look, we were able to get close to 500,000 views right now, and I hadn't even been able to put in the amount of time that I would like to in the past, just because obviously I have real life obligations. But now, like I said, that I've moved some things around, we would definitely be able to hit that 500,000 milestone, I believe, by the end of the week. And I think by the end of the month, we'll be close to hitting 600,000 views. So definitely subscribe. We have a lot of content coming our way, coming your way, and a lot of huge changes that are supposed to be happening over the next couple of weeks that I'm excited to announce. So with that being said, I hope you all have been having a fantastic afternoon. I do want to say that I am so freaking tired of the existence of the CIA. I'm tired of them. They're not even really an entity that's supposed to be for the benefit of society, especially given the fact that we know that almost everything that has come out of their mouth has been literally, yeah, let's convince the American people that this is true, but it isn't. Let's go take, form coups in Libya and in Syria and Iraq and Afghanistan and all over the world, essentially, and now we have no idea. My entire childhood of what I thought I knew about the U.S. history and the wars we fought in has been completely erased pretty much over the last year or so. I remember I even had I had to have a conversation with a family member, like who was special forces, who was in Libya, and I was like, wow, you know, you're pretty much fighting for monetary interests, and it had nothing to do with the freedom or liberation of anybody at all whatsoever. They didn't care. Like, our government does not care about the liberation of any peoples. If you all have noticed, we are very selective in those we choose to liberate, and the CIA, in large part, has a lot to do with that. Because, well, one, we like to maintain lucrative contracts. Two, the CIA really is a shadow entity in that it does not only control a lot of our United States government, but it controls governments around the world. But we have now seen another example that has recently come out as of yesterday, actually, of the CIA once again attempting to use propaganda, as it has done historically, to essentially put out disinformation about the Trump dossier, just the Russiagate propaganda, and Donald Trump in general. And like you all know, I'm not a huge Donald Trump fan, but the guy has enough things to critique, you know, merit-wise. We don't need to continue to make lies about him, especially lies regarding another nuclear superpower, okay? If the lies regarding Trump literally seem to all deal with one entity, like Russia, for example, it is probably because our beef is not necessarily with Trump. It is probably with Russia. And the reason that Trump is being used is because he's the most vulnerable one, and he makes it so easy, to be totally honest with you. So Moby, who is a pop star, he's an electronic music artist, he tweeted about a year ago, well, yeah, almost a year ago now, in February, about the Trump dossier, but he was very, very limited in his communication as to what exactly it contained. But if you all recall, the Trump dossier really got put out in March. That's when it was initially dropped, but the CIA actually pushed this Trump dossier and the information found inside of it to Moby. He admitted it. He's not like ashamed of it. He was actually very proud. I almost feel bad for him, because he's like, you know, in my travels and on tours, you know, just because of how prestigious I am, I just happen to make some friends that are in the intelligence communities, like the CIA and the FBI. And one time they invited me out to dinner, you know, just for no reason whatsoever at all, period. They just wanted to meet up with me because we're cool friends. We used to play video games together back in the day. And so they were like, hey, let's sit down for dinner. And while we were having dinner, they conveniently took this huge dossier and paperwork out of their pocket and said, hey, can you tweet about this, because you have a large social media following and you're a pop star? And I don't think that's suspicious at all, because I think they actually give a damn about the American people, because the CIA has always had a long history of giving a damn about what the American people think. So I'm not, and you think that actually is an exaggeration, but it's only a little bit. They didn't play video games together. That's pretty much the only exaggeration. He legitimately said that the CIA, two agents or a couple of agents, invited him out to dinner just on a whim, coincidentally, and showed him the information for the dossier, trying to claim that it was a, you know, he's the Manchurian candidate. This stuff in here, it gets really deep. It gets really dark. You know, and by the way, this is all real stuff. This is all real stuff. We are not making any of this up at all. We have nothing to do with this. You know, this is just by this random group named Fusion GPS, who is totally on the up and up. You can totally trust those guys. Trust me, we're the CIA. We've literally never lied to anybody ever, except for every single time that we've lied to everybody and said it was okay. But hey, Fusion GPS, totally on the up and up. Never going to get sued by BuzzFeed. Never going to get sued by anybody else. They're not going to end up on the Senate Judiciary Committee, you know, or, you know, getting interviewed and investigated by the Senate Judiciary Committee or anything like that. You can totally trust this information. Yeah, they lied. He said, listen. Last February, following the presidential inauguration of Donald Trump, Moby posted on social media claiming that he had insider information on connections between the Trump administration and Russia, which is a really weird thing for an artist to post. But hey, the producer slash DJ said that after talking to friends in DC, he had allegedly learned that the Fusion GPS dossier was 100% real. And people in DC never lie. People in DC would never go to the New York Times and claim that there were 17 intelligence agencies that all agreed that Trump had colluded with Russia and that Russia had interfered in American elections. They would never say such a thing. They had never done that. Except for they literally have done all that. But hey, apparently Moby doesn't know how to read a damn newspaper that retracts its own articles. Because the fact that he actually believes this is a little freaking scary. But, you know, he wants to seem cool. But he said that because of his friends in D.C., his trustworthy friends in D.C., that it was 100% real and that the Russian government was blackmailing the president. Now, in a new interview with WFPK, Louisville, Kentucky, Moby has doubled down on his claims. So you know what? At first, you feel kind of bad for him because he doesn't really know what he's getting into. And now you don't feel bad for him because after all of the information that has come out, the fact-based information, disproving the information that has been recently released that was clearly being put out as propaganda, he is still doubling down on that bullshit. So, talking with WFPK's Kyle Meredith, Moby cited active and former CIA agents. I love when people try to throw authorities around. And that is like the absolute worst authority to throw around. Nobody trusts the CIA, but hey. Who were truly concerned, the active and former CIA agents who were truly concerned about Trump's collusion. They were truly concerned, people. They were like, this is a quote, by the way. They were like, this is the Manchurian candidate. Like, Putin has a Russian agent as a president of the United States of America. Who believes that shit? He's a Russian agent that nobody knew. This dude's a billionaire who, I mean, was always on television. Is the same, mind you, same guy that in 2000 was asked by Jesse Ventura to run for the Reform Party. He's a Manchurian candidate and a Russian agent. He said, so they passed on some information to me and they said, look, you have more social media following than we. See, that wasn't an exaggeration. I was serious about that. Look, you have more of a social media following than any of us do. Can you please post some of these things just in a way that sort of puts it out there? He added, it's really disturbing and going on, and it's going to get quite a lot darker. Like the depths of the Trump family in business and their involvement with organized crime, sponsored terrorism, and Russian. Bro, it's so crazy. And I know this is probably a pattern that not only I notice, but I'm sure a lot of you have noticed this as well. Have you ever noticed that when you're reading some of the claims that these intelligence agencies and establishment media, mainstream media, aka what I like to call it the lamestream media, whenever you read some of the stuff they claim about Donald Trump, doesn't it sound an awful lot like Hillary Clinton? Almost verbatim, like the description of Hillary Clinton. I want to read that description to you one more time because that's what I was like, hold up. This is about Trump. Y'all sure this is about Trump? Listen. So he said, like the depths of the Trump family in business. So let's replace that with Hillary Clinton or with Clinton. And let's see how similar the circumstances sound. Like the depths of the Clinton family business and their involvement with organized crime, sponsored terrorism, Russian oligarchs, it's really dark. I guess we should all fasten our seatbelts and hold on. Now, that was what they said about Trump. But that sounds awful familiar. That sounds a lot like the Clinton family. I mean, am I the only one that feels like that? I feel like I'm not the only one that feels like that. Listen, I don't want to call him a dumbass. See, y'all gonna make me be mean. I don't want to call him a dumbass. I don't want to, but I feel like I kind of have to. Like, hopefully, it will knock some sense into him because it's kind of some dumbacity. It's like You ever call somebody asshole, but or you like where you're doing that's a douche move. You're like, why you call me a douche? No, I'm not calling you a douche. I'm just saying it's a douche move. This is some dumbassity. You know, I'm not saying you a dumbass, but this is some dumbass shit. Okay, why do you think CIA agents want to be friends with your ass? What substantive like qualities do you as a person have that just differentiates you from somebody else? Why would they choose electronic pop star, electronic DJ, producer / pop star, to tweet information about politics? Because that makes total sense. There's nothing suspicious about that. They just randomly called you out to dinner and said, hey, man, look, it's been a long time. Can't wait to catch up. How's the family? Oh, by the way, tweet about this Russian dossier or this Trump dossier from Russia. What? Come on, people. I wonder if it could have anything to do with this. As you all know, it's been pretty verified that the CIA has a history of disinformation campaigns. On the global research website, it actually kind of talks about how y'all remember William Casey? It talks about him and that little situation that happened with the CIA in the 80s. Remember, it's the William Casey did in fact say that the controversial and often disputed We All Know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false. And that was in 1991. Despite Casey being under investigation by Congress for being involved in major disinformation plots involving the overthrow of Libya's Gaddafi in 1981. Oh yeah, believe it. We weren't the only ones, or excuse me, Hillary Clinton wasn't the only one who tried to overthrow Gaddafi. This looks like it was an ongoing thing. And I've actually done a pretty extensive video on that situation, which I heard you want to go check out. But despite Casey arguing on record that the CIA has a legal right to spread disinformation via the mainstream news, that same year, this quote continues to be argued by people who weren't there and apparently cannot believe the CIA director would say something, such a thing. Then there's actually a video of him saying that. So, and here's the interview with Congress, by the way. Do you have any people being paid by the CIA who are contributing to a major circulation like, the American Journal? Answer: we do have people who submit pieces to the American journals. Question: do you have people paid by the CIA who are working for television networks? His answer: this, I think, gets into kind of getting into details, Mr. Chairman, that I'd like to get into in the executive session. So essentially what he is saying is absolutely they do have people working in television that are literally there to spread disinformation. Understand something as well. Seymour Hersh, Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist, has already said in another video that this isn't something that's been happening only in 1981, but this is something that's happening at this very moment. Former CIA Director John Brennan, who I think he resigned in 2013, Brennan is in charge of the new disinformation campaign. Seymour Hersh has confirmed this. He was the one who went to the New York Times and said that bullshit about the 17 intelligence agencies. The reason why, Seymour Hersh gave a very reasonable answer, which is usually the answer for everything, unfortunately. They do not want to lose their lucrative contracts overseas. They did not want Donald Trump to be in office. They wanted Hillary to be in office because they know she loves playing ball with foreign affairs and foreign relations. And she would help them keep their money. But the moral of the story is, clearly, these facts have nothing to do with your friends in the CIA, your friends in DC, inviting you out to dinner randomly, sliding you a Trump dossier and saying, hey, tweet about this unverified news. Just trust us. We got this. It's true. I'm not saying he's a dumbass. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying this is some dumbass shit. He did some dumbass shit. It was some dumbassity. That's all I'm saying. Is that fair to say? I think that's pretty fair to say. So, I would love to know your opinion about this. I really, people like that are like very naive. And like I said, I would feel bad for him if all this information didn't come out, and then before he said something like that, doubled down on it. You know, he doubled down after this new information has been released. Information has been retracted, articles have been retracted, and he's still doubling down. So that's why it's hard to feel bad for him. So it's some, like I said, I'm gonna call him dumbass. This is some dumbass shit, full blown dumbassity. So let me know what you think. I will post the link to the article in the description below. Remember to donate to our One Follow $1 campaign when we show the mainstream media that we will no longer take their bullshit. Because clearly, as I have just pointed out to you by former director William Casey, the mainstream media is literally the propaganda arm of the CIA. So there's that. So we need independent journalists, and if you don't support us, we're screwed. Because nobody's going to give you actual news. So I don't want to be awkward, but hey, you saw it. Thank you all so much for watching, man. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And always remember, people, find your balance. Peace.